Narendra Solanki, Head of Fundamental Research of Investment Services at Anand, Rathi, is joining us for more. Mr. Solanki, thank you so much for speaking with us here at NDTV Profit. Let's just begin by getting your take on NTPC Green. Let's keep the response to one side for now, maybe because yesterday markets were shut, it was a holiday, maybe that's why you've seen a muted response. But fundamentally, do you like the prospect of an NTPC Green as a company?
Yeah, good morning. See, as far as the prospect and the kind of growth which the company is going to see for next 3 to 5 years is definitely great. And the kind of parentage it is having, the kind of execution skills the management brings to the table, and the kind of growth we are having. So next 3 to 5 years, you can easily expect more than 20% kind of CAGR for the company. Because one of the reason is the high capacity capex which is the company is planning, and second, the low base effect. So definitely the growth is there, and the IPO also fundamentally is very strong in terms of the demand as well as the kind of execution the company is already doing and the capacity they have. However, on valuations, there are concerns, and the IPO could have been priced at some lower valuations so that the demand could have been much better. So valuation is a concern. Hence, we have also recommended a long-term view on the IPO and subscribe for a really long-term view.
You have, in fact, a recommendation for a subscribe for long term. Because of the valuations, do you think that there is a bit of hesitation, Mr. Solanki, because of the price band? It was expected at a little lower? Or do you think that the price band is something which will be digested by day 3, perhaps?
Yeah, I think it's not, the IPO is not at risk of lower subscription. I think it would definitely get subscribed. But yes, definitely the valuation could have been much lower. I think it could have been somewhere around between 80 to 90s or something like that. The market was expecting in something in that kind of a range. And definitely it was not expected to be in triple digits. So from that point, the valuations definitely on a higher side. However, I think the IPO would sail through.
Narendra, hi, it's also Samina joining in. With the government's total renewable capacity at 210 gigawatts and their plans to increase it to 450 gigawatts, in my opinion, NTPC Green plays a very pivotal role in India achieving that target, given that 17% of installed capacity is with NTPC Green. But let's also keep in mind that NTPC Green may be the only PSU company in the space, but there are others in the private space. So an Acme, an Adani Green, a Vari, a Premier, of course, green energy beyond solar only. Do you feel like if you want to play the India theme, NTPC Green is expensive and best avoided for now because there are other listed entities that one could still look at?
I think the overall story of the green energy has been doing rounds in the markets for last few months. So even other players are also not attractively valued in comparison with the NTPC Green. So I think NTPC Green at the current moment might be just relatively at some kind of a premium. But looking at the execution capabilities and the kind of management expertise in this segment the company brings on the table, so I think it is right now. You can still go for the NTPC Green IPO for long term.
Right. Narendra, are you concerned about the fact they've got significant receivables from discoms which have led to negative cash flows? Do you feel like this fundraise will fix part of that problem? And they've got significant debt. I mean, we're talking 18,000 odd crores, which is impacting profitability. With this fundraise, both these negatives you think will be sort of eased out and hence the stock becomes a buy? And if yes, what is the ideal time horizon and what is an ideal entry point? Because it seems like this is going to get a flat listing.
See, definitely as the new capacity comes up and the company adds new capacities and the kind of cash flows improve, so these issues would definitely sort out in for next 2 to 3 years. And after this capital raising, the short-term issues are also get resolved in terms of cash flows. So we don't see any risk to cash flows beyond 2 to 3 years. And yeah, definitely, if one is trying to invest in this stock, then he must should have investment horizon of more than 3 years at current valuations.
So, what is your view on the counter? It's a subscribe with a long-term hold, you said?
Yes, yes.
And Narendra, if one doesn't get lucky enough to get an allocation in the IPO, would you recommend it on listing day if it gets a flat start?
Yeah, we have to see if there is any flat listing or if there is any discount. So the persons who are interested for long-term view and getting exposure into the sector, then definitely they can add it to their portfolios. But as I've said,
Yeah.
they must have a view of at least 3 years or more.
The long term, what is your target price on NTPC Green?
See, we have not released a target price as of now. Post listing, we would assess it again, and then we may have a target.
Are you expecting any listing gains? Because half the investors in IPO, Mr. Solanki, come for the listing gains.
No, at this point in time, I don't expect any major listing there.
Okay, so it's a long-term bet. No real listing gains for NTPC Green. The subscription, of course, ends tomorrow. Thank you so much.